agus fáilte arás to the Crazy House Prices podcast. I'm your host, Ciarán McQueen, and today I'm diving into a comprehensive guide on how to avoid delays and prevent your house sale or purchase from falling through. So make sure to follow me on Instagram at Crazy House Prices for more updates and tips. I have an outrageous amount of content over there. Right, so first there will be a 60-second ad and then we will get started. I just want to pause the podcast for a moment to talk to you about a company called Beat the Bank. So the stress of organising mortgage protection just got a whole lot easier with beatthebank.ie. This amazing Irish company offers the guaranteed lowest price for mortgage protection in the country, and it's not just for first-time buyers. You can switch your own mortgage protection anytime and enjoy the benefits of their market-leading discounts. I, along with hundreds of my Instagram followers, have used Beat the Bank, and the feedback has been amazing over the last 12 months. With their 100% end-to-end digital experience, quoting and applying for mortgage protection has never been easier. You can get a quote in seconds and apply in minutes without the hassle of unwanted sales calls or any paperwork. So visit beatthebank.ie today and protect your mortgage with ease and peace of mind. Beat the Bank saves you time and money on mortgage protection, whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to switch. They've also just launched income protection and life insurance on the site too. And if you have a house or are renting and are planning to buy, you need to consider protecting your income. So check out beatthebank.ie. Now, back to the podcast. So today, as I said, I have a detailed discussion about common reasons why house sales fall through and how you, as a buyer or seller, can proactively avoid these pitfalls or at least be prepared for them. So this episode is based on two really good documents, my own one being Reasons Why House Sales Fall Through, and a newly released document from the Law Society of Ireland and the SCSI called Speed Up Your Property Sale, a guide to avoiding the most common delays. I will link to both of them in the episode description. The Law Society document is fantastic. I definitely recommend downloading it. It's really well laid out. It's nice and clear. It's easy to understand. But anyway, let's start with an overview of the common reasons why house sales fall through. So number one, structural issues. So if a structural survey reveals problems such as subsidence, damp or rot, the buyer may withdraw their offer. This is one of the most common reasons a sale might fall through. Nobody obviously wants to invest in a property that has significant issues, which could be costly to fix. It may also result in a bank not giving a mortgage on it. Number two, a chain collapse. This is probably the other most common one. So in a chain of property sales, if one sale falls through, this can obviously affect the whole chain and causing a domino effect of sales collapsing. So it can be obviously incredibly frustrating for everyone involved, as each sale is dependent on the others completing successfully. Number three is mortgage issues. So buyers failing to secure a mortgage is a really common issue. This can happen if there are problems with the mortgage application, if the lender requires more documentation, or like we're seeing now, rising interest rates, even though they're starting to come back down, they can impact the buyer's borrowing capacity. So without financing, obviously the sale can't proceed. So this is why sometimes you'll see homes advertised for cash buyers only, as I said in the previous thing about structural issues, because some homes just might not be mortgageable, if that's a word, as in a bank wouldn't lend on it for whatever reason, or structural title issues, etc. Number four is gazumping. This occurs when a seller accepts a higher offer from another buyer after already accepting an offer, and this can leave the initial buyer then being just totally betrayed and cause them to pull out of the deal. In my opinion, it should be illegal and we should have a sale agreed contract, but that's a topic for another day. Five then are legal issues. So problems can arise during the conveyancing process, such as planning permission issues, disputes over boundary lines, or complications with leasehold properties. These can be difficult to resolve and may cause the buyer to back out. Leasehold and freehold is a whole other issue that would probably require its own podcast. Number six then, survey issues. So if a survey reveals problems with the electrics, plumbing or roofing, the buyer might withdraw their offer or try and renegotiate the price, and this can be a deal breaker for many buyers, especially if the issues are severe. Number seven, could be a change of circumstances. So a change in the buyer's circumstances, such as job loss, divorce or illness. This can obviously then affect their ability to afford the property, or might need to look at something else. It can also be an issue with mortgage protection. So if they haven't got mortgage protection organised in advance, they go sale agreed, and then they realise they might not be able to get mortgage protection, usually down due to a health issue. Well then, if they can't get an exemption, then that can cause the sale to collapse as well. Number 8 then would be the property condition. So similar to the survey, the buyers might be put off by the condition. Maybe it didn't look like in real life what it did in photos, or maybe they just don't like the neighborhood or heard something bad about it or the neighbors, and that can lead to them withdrawing their offer. 9 then could be environmental issues, so concerns about flooding or pollution can also be a deal breaker, especially if they make the home uninsurable. If you can't get home insurance, then the bank won't give you a mortgage on it. Number 10, lenders delaying releasing funds. So if there are issues with the mortgage application, or if the lender requires additional documentation or checks, this can delay the process, and rising interest rates can also contribute to this problem. Number 11, valuation discrepancy. So if the sale agreed price is above the valuer's valuation, the lender may refuse to lend the full amount. This can cause the sale to fall through if the buyer can't make up the difference. Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. 12 then is probate delays. So if the property is being sold as part of an estate and probate is required, I don't mean a housing estate, like an estate, a will, any delays in obtaining this probate then can cause significant delays in the sale. This can take anywhere from 6 months to 6 years. Again, this topic warrants its own podcast episode, and I've just finished a 6-month-long expert committee that was tasked with giving the government a report on what they could and should do to improve probate and conveyancing times, but more on that in another episode. And number 13 then, vendor issues. So disagreements or changes in the vendor's situation, so that's the seller, such as switching estate agents, or maybe they just want to withdraw the property altogether. That can also obviously cause a sale to collapse. So in addition to all this, I've also received insights from my followers about challenges they've encountered during the whole process. So some of these are lenders insisting on a home bond guarantee that the developer won't give, issues with shared services like septic tanks, lack of certifications for attic conversions, unregistered right of way, discovery of defects like mica and pyrite, vendors changing their minds or wanting more money, problems with getting mortgage protection or home insurance due to health or other issues, length of leasehold being too short, delays with solicitors causing frustrations. That can be a really annoying thing. Disputes during a divorce impacting the sale agreement, discovering undesirable neighbours, problems with the management company, buyers bidding on multiple properties. Does happen, not very often, but it does happen. Lenders refusing drawdown due to circumstances like maternity leave, and then finally developers not including subject to loan clauses in contracts. So now I want to move on to some detailed advice for sellers to help sellers avoid these common pitfalls, and these are from that Law Society document that I spoke about. So number 1 would be to gather personal documentation, so photo identification, proofs of address, PPS number, marriage or divorce documentation. Then number 2 is to build your team, so make sure you have a solicitor, make sure you hire an estate agent. If you want to use an estate agent, you don't have to. Quite easy to sell your house now, so you can literally just do the ad yourself on Daft, but I know estate agent, a lot of that hassle out. Number 3 then would be property title and deeds. Make sure you locate your title deeds. So if your property is mortgage free, you may have the title deeds yourself, or if there's a mortgage, your bank will usually hold on to them. So request these really early to avoid delays. And then rights and burdens. So disclose any rights of residence, easements or boundary issues related to your property. Number 4 then will be planning and building compliance. So make sure you have you've gathered all the planning documents. So collect details of any building work that's been done since you bought the house or home or property, including extensions, renovations, etc. You need your BER search, or building energy rating certificate. That's legally required when selling a home here in Ireland. So if you don't have one, you have to arrange for an assessment. Septic tank registration if you have a septic tank, so if that's applicable. Hi, I am just going to pause the podcast for a second to talk to you about some sponsors of the Crazy House Prices podcast. This episode is sponsored by Daft.ie. Daft is Ireland's #1 property portal. Daft has the most properties available for sale and rent, and is the preferred national property website amongst consumers in Ireland. So Daft.ie's core vision is to make buying, selling and renting property better for everyone in Ireland. So Daft's mission is to simplify each step of every property transaction in the Irish market to make buying, selling and renting in Ireland simple. That's why Daft.ie build innovative tools like Offers by Daft, an online real-time offers platform that provides never before seen transparency for the Irish consumer when buying a home. Are you looking to buy? Maximise your chances of finding your dream home by visiting Daft.ie, Ireland's #1 property website. Number 5 then is the financial preparations. So local property tax, you have to make sure that your local property tax is up to date. And if you're selling after November 1st, you'll also need to pay for the following year, which you can then get back then pro rata from the buyer. Utility confirmation. So make sure you have confirmation from Ishka Éireann that water and drainage services are in place and are being managed. Management company details if your property is part of a multi-unit development. So you need to provide details of that. And then number 6 is additional considerations. So probate. So if it's part of that, that's a whole huge delay, talking at least 6 months. And then tenancy documentation. If the house is or the property is let, you have to provide a copy of the letting agreement and ensure the tenancy is registered with the RTB. So the document has a really good kind of checklist and timeline on it that will really help you stay organized, and it's really neatly put together into a chart and it's easy to read, but it gives you typical time frames for each. So for example, I'm not going to go through them all because there's loads, but it's like, so let's say locating your title deeds. These are usually with your solicitor, lender, or already in your own possession. Costs can vary, but it can take up to 8 weeks. Some other ones that take longer can be like boundary issues that can be 2 to 4 weeks at least. Then there's declaration of identity that can be 2 to 3 weeks. Redemption amount can be 3 weeks if you've a mortgage on the home. So there's loads of things that will take ages, and the document has a really fantastic kind of grid with all of them. So another one, land registry compliant maps, that can take 2 to 3 weeks. The biggest one obviously being probate if it's in probate, and then all the other things like your planning and building compliance, that could be 6 weeks. So these are all the reasons why buying and selling a home in Ireland takes so long. I've literally spent 6 months doing that committee that's discussed all of this, so I'm really clued into how it goes, and there's just so many people involved. I think there's up to 15 people involved when you're selling a home, so that all adds to, 1, to costs, and 2, to timelines. So I definitely recommend just checking out that document, and if you scroll right down to the end, it has it all in a neat little grid that will explain everything. So if you are selling a home, it's just really important that you're as organized as possible, and this document is fantastic for literally letting you know absolutely everything you need so that you have everything sorted for when you're going to sell your home. Sin é Lahai on episode Shu of the Crazy House Prices podcast with me, Ciarán McQueen. So I hope you found that really helpful, and it will hopefully help you navigate your purchase or sale more smoothly and avoid really common pitfalls. So if you're enjoying the podcast and my Instagram and you want to show your support, head over to patreon.com/Crazy House Prices. Your support not only helps keep this podcast and the Instagram page going, but also gives you exclusive access to bonus content like detailed Q&As where I answer every single question sent in. Plus, you'll get the unique opportunity to engage with my community of over 100,000 followers, asking them questions that Google could never answer. So don't miss out on those exclusive perks. And also my book, my best-selling book, I may add, How to Buy a Home in Ireland. That's available nationwide. I know loads of places are sold out, but I think if you Google it, you'll find it online, or else you will likely get it in your local library. They should have copies of it there. You can check on the library app. I know Dublin City libraries have 100 copies of it. So check it out there if you don't want to buy it. You'll read it in 2-3 days, and it's just packed with information. I think you'll enjoy it like thousands of people. Anyway, I'll chat to you soon. Slán go fóill.